treatment product from several brands are now being recalled because they have elevated levels of benzene, which is a chemical that could cause cancer.
There has been do not use warning issued on a very popular skincare product.
You might have heard about a La Roche-Posay recall, but if you've seen recalls before, you'll know this one is super weird. There's no official announcement and no instructions on how to return it. Well, the FDA just published this statement, and it turns out it is a retailer-only recall. Products have been taken off the shelves, but if you own it, you don't have to do anything because there's no real safety risk. The amounts are very low, they don't add much to the benzene that we normally get because it's in the air everywhere already. There is absolutely no do not use warning. But here's where things start to get wicked. You might remember that almost all of these benzene scare stories come from just one lab called Valisure. They're an independent testing lab and they keep finding dangerous chemicals in products. Their big break was with heartburn medication. Valisure found a dangerous chemical in lots of products. They made a big announcement. They said they were taking it to the FDA. They said the FDA needs to hire them. So many scary headlines. Look at our very high numbers.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
It turns out Valisure heated it up so much that it probably turned black before there were concerning levels of that chemical. The FDA actually started investigating this as soon as Valisure announced it because they take medication safety seriously. The next year, whoa! Same scary chemical found in lots of metformin. Guess who found it? This is a really important medication, so regulators from all of these countries sort of set up an Avengers team to work out what was going on with all these big numbers. Turns out
that's the wrong number!
Valisure accidentally added two humps together. The dangerous chemical is just the little hump, so their numbers were way too big. Again, only a handful of products were affected. It wasn't widespread contamination like Valisure made it out to be. The FDA published some papers on how Valisure messed up. The USP, who specialize in testing medication, wrote a report about Valisure. They talk about the serious consequences when labs use unvalidated methods, that means tests that don't work properly. The results can be suspect and deceptive. Basically, if you use a broken thermometer, you're not going to get the right temperature. Last year, Valisure announced they found benzene in tons of acne products. Lots of scary headlines, look at our big numbers, we need to use safer formulas. Some Valisure people just happen to have a patent application on safer formulas. Now, in this new recall statement from yesterday, this is really interesting. The FDA says they ran tests on the same products as Valisure. Well, it says third-party laboratories, but it's really just Valisure.
Psych!
They found benzene in a lot less products. And this is really unusual for a recall statement. The FDA says Valisure get much higher numbers because their tests are bad, and they link that USP report. Now, the first two announcements about this La Roche-Posay recall didn't bother saying that it was retailer only and the amounts were very low risk. One was written by a Bloomberg journalist who seems to be good friends with Valisure. She writes their articles before their announcement. This was an exclusive. The other was Dermatology Times. Their editor-in-chief works closely with Valisure. He presents their results at conferences. Neither of these say anything about very low risk. Both just talk about how benzene is a carcinogen. This article even gives advice that goes against the FDA. Now, my opinion, if you measure the temperature with a broken thermometer and it says it's scary hot, you go out, warn people, later on you find out it was broken and you were wrong, that's fine once. But if you keep using broken thermometers and making a massive fuss about how dangerous your numbers are, that is really sus. I don't think you actually care about people's safety. It feels like you just want people to panic. The FDA says they'll publish papers on this soon. I am really looking forward to them.